y'all, it's Lachi, back with another episode of Big Dis Glossary, serving up joyful nuggets of my tiny disabled rebellion. You ever hear them say the disability community is outraged and wonder, who the hell is a disability community? Is there even a disability community? Or just a bunch of people who happen to have disabilities and just one loud guy who's outraged? And how can you be an ally if you're not clear on who your ally is? Well, let's clear up the distinction between the general disabled population and the disability community. Yes, they sound the same. No, they're not the same. Disability community is often used to refer to the whole disabled population. But if you're in the disability community for real, you know that like 2 and 2, these are two different things. Okay, so boom. The disabled population is any old body who has a disability. The disability community is folks who claim it with solidarity, culture, and pride, and who wouldn't be caught dead saying differently able. Some examples. Folks like Jim Lebrecht and Tiffany Yu, both mentioned in my book of Rooney over here, identify as disabled, are down with the big dis energy, and are a part of the disability community. Folks who are part of the population, but not the community, generally tick off disability for statistical or accommodation purposes and otherwise call it a day. And frankly, there's a crap ton of more people with disabilities who don't even do that or don't even acknowledge or even know that they have a disability. But the distinction is important because if you ask a disabled person who is not a part of the community a broad question on disability, you may actually walk away with bad or harmful guidance, often wrapped in a sandwich of internalized ableism. Disability is not a monolith, but if you truly want to learn, you want to learn from someone in community. People often ask me, Lachi, how can I be an actual ally to the disability community without coming off some type of way? Well, the answer is twofold. One, understand that disability is a big tent, all-inclusive umbrella. Recognize that it goes beyond physical, intellectual, and sensory difference to include chronic conditions like arthritis and asthma, mental health conditions like general anxiety or depression, neurodivergences like ADHD or dyslexia. It could be temporary like a broken arm or seasonal depression or light sensitivity or tinnitus or a bunch of other non-apparent conditions. So let's be real. Everyone identifies with something on that big old list. So step 2 to being an ally is understanding where you sit on that big old list. Recognizing the disability identity within yourself is the only way you can actually empathize and be a true ally to disability. Let me tell you a little bit about how this played out with my organization, RAMP. When we started, folks who already identified with disability were the ones who joined the network. But since then, we've actually had a lot of music professionals come into their disability identity through getting to know RAMP. People started to realize, wait, now hold up, that's me too because of the work we're doing, going from disabled population to disability community. So essentially, a lot of folks within the music industry, because the music industry is a rather exploitative, very capitalistic and superficial space, right? And I say this with love, but it is very difficult to be your authentic self when you're kind of surrounded with competition and machismo and things of that nature. It's a very pick-me place. It's a very crabs in a bucket place. And to be able to recognize the deepest part of yourself that society says is flawed, it's like, I will not touch that. I am in too much of a rat race. So many people are impatient. Folks don't have care. They're just trying to win and get ahead because of how difficult it is in this industry. So for folks to be able, because of the work RAMP is doing, look at themselves, look inside themselves and say, look, I know and I understand that something is different with me, but I in no way will celebrate it. To getting to the point of where, hey, I see that these people can touch that deepest part of themselves and then walk around in the music industry and still be successful, still build career authority, still build financial stability without having to mask, right? That is power. That is liberation. You are no longer beholden to other people's judgments. You're no longer beholden to other people's standards. You set the standard. You look at the thing in yourself that you were honing, that deepest adversity that made you grow every time you grew. And then instead of hiding that, you stand on it 10 toes. That is going from disabled population to being in solidarity with your disability identity in the midst of the disability community. The other powerful thing about RAMP is that we are a network, a place for music professionals to find and build that community. to be able to cultivate their own disability community so they have folks to fall back on, to unmask with, unwind with, share their woes and wins with as it pertains to their disability, to their neurodivergence, to their chronic condition, to their mental health condition, their difference, to their non-apparent disability, to their temporary disability, to their fears. To be able to speak openly and not feel pathologized, that is disability community. And when you can find that part in yourself, that part of yourself, and see it in others, that is when you begin to build community and you're no longer just part of the population. You are now part of the disability community. And I want to reiterate how important it is that we have that distinction, because oftentimes folks talk to people who are in the disabled population, they walk away with bad guidance, and then they want to broad strokes paint it as a monoculture of disability. You might encounter a disabled person who likes the term differently abled. However, the term differently abled is a euphemism, and the disability community definitely got something to say about euphemisms. Want more of these joyful real talk nuggets? Well, get the old book, I Identify as Blind. We also have a really cool sponsorship train going, you guys, where anybody can sponsor books for disability organizations, educators, independent living centers, essentially getting this book into the hands of readers in need. Help pay it forward and spread the message. You can go ahead and figure out how to be a part of the sponsorship train by clicking the link in the description or in the bio or wherever you're watching this content right now. And be sure to stay tuned for another episode of Big Dis Glossary. We've got a lot to cover, but for now, I'm going to just hit that one.